Hello and welcome to week 5 with Victoria's Yoga, where we are focusing on nervous system recovery. And this week's theme is empower and align with mind-body actions. So for that, I want to remember that everything we do is optional. It's not competition or about flexibility. It's about honoring your body's awareness and where you are currently at with that. So a lot of times we can notice if something's off in our body by our alignment, by our health, by thoughts that keep popping up. We tend to ignore those things because we're taught to keep going, push through, and in reality, that actually harms us more than it helps. So, if something doesn't feel right, you go back into neutral pose. You go back to focusing on your breathing, or maybe accommodate a pose that you know doesn't work for you. Try and realign it so that it does work with your body, or set that portion out. It's never about pushing yourself past your comfort point. And there's a difference between when you're stretching your body and it starts to feel uncomfortable in a growth way versus it starts to feel uncomfortable in a painful way. Knowing the difference helps a lot. So when we focus on our body awareness, we're focusing on what feels like we're pushing it towards growth and what feels like we're pushing it past our endurance point that we're actually harming ourselves. This is what it means to be aware of yourself in general. What is actually good for you versus what you think should be good for you. Because a lot of the times when it comes to harming ourselves, it's because we haven't realized that we're trying to meet somebody else's standard when really we should trust ourselves first and foremost. So a lot of what we do when we're working on this is learning how to trust ourselves. And that is your goal. That is what you should feel proud of by the end of this. And if and at any point in time you want to pause the video and comment down below about something you noticed, do so, share, and then that also gives you something to go back to and look at, like, wow, I have actually come quite a long way, or maybe even journal about it. So with that, we're going to move into our posture. We sit on the edge of our chair. We bring our feet hip width apart. And this is already our first alignment because then we are allowing circulation to line up with how our body actually should be in position. So then we have our knees stacked over our ankles, bringing them to a 90-degree position. We come back to the sits bone, and when you rock back and forth, your spine should naturally elongate into a comfortable pose instead of forcing it up into what you think straight should be. There's this ability to find the natural position, which allows you to relax into the straight back. And then we're going to roll our shoulders back. This opens the airway. And when you breathe in, you should feel a difference. With our head, I don't always mention this part, but sometimes we tend to look up too much. I have a tendency of that where actually you should tuck your chin in just a little so that this brings the back of your neck into straight alignment and again opens your airway. You might even notice that you breathe different through the nose, that it's easier to expand through the chest because you're not holding yourself too far back, you're not slouching forward. Posture and breath really matter in every situation because when you can breathe easily, it triggers the body into knowing you are in a safe situation, environment, or in control of yourself. There's also one thing about posture that is not a very known thing, but where your tongue actually sits within your mouth matters as well. If your tongue is not normally against the roof of your mouth, when it's closed, when you're breathing, even when you're in resting position, you're actually throwing your posture off, because if it sits down here, it means that your tongue might actually be weak. And then it can mean some of these other muscles are weak, and it throws off your whole alignment. So knowing your body actually helps, because you might even not realize that you have something in you that's off because you've never known it's not normal. And where your tongue sits is not something to often talk about. So with that, we'll then bring our hands to the top of our thighs. Take a few breaths here and notice if you've had any changes. Is it easier to breathe? Does your posture feel different? Is it easier to hold this posture, or is it hard? What muscles might be weak in the back? Or if you've been doing this since the beginning with me each week, have you noticed a change in how long you can hold a straight position? Or even a relaxed position? Because you should be relaxed in this position, even if it feels strange. So with that, we're going to start with our breath work. And for breath work, I want to do alternating nostril breathing. And this is going to sound a little weird if you've never done this before, but it works with that coordinating with the mind, learning how to integrate the left and right side of our body. And with this, it actually sometimes can help. Like if you notice you're not breathing out of one side, you can do this to help switch to the other. And it actually can trigger your body to move from a stressful situation to a relaxed situation. What our goal here is to reduce stress. So we're always trying to reduce stress. So sometimes just even changing the way that your body's allowing you to breathe at the time switches your mindset over, because it's gaining control over something you didn't know you had the ability to control. With the alternating nostril breathing, like I said, it's strange. I'm left-handed, so I'll use my left hand, but if it feels more comfortable to use your right, you're going to start by blocking your one side of your nostril. Okay, so using your thumb, and then with your ring finger, you're going to then switch when I tell you to. So with that, let's get into it and see if we can keep our mind focused on this, because this will increase focus when we do this by blocking the first side with our thumb. And then you're going to breathe in through the opposite nostril. You're going to switch by blocking with your ring finger the opposite side. So I started with my left and moved over to my right. And then breathe out on the exhale. And then inhale, switch. And we're going to do this for the next 5 minutes. Inhale and then switch. This is that mind-body coordination, alignment. If you lose place at any point in time, just start over. If you do this when you just woke up, it's amazing to realize how much change you'll notice, because when you sleep, your body naturally blocks off one nostril and only breathes through one. So you might feel one side clearing and the other feels easier to breathe through. It also might start waking you up more. It's like a natural way to wake yourself up without caffeine. Because you're giving yourself fresh oxygen consciously. You see me keep glancing down, that's actually me keeping track of my timer. Try to notice if at any point in time your posture has changed and you need to go back in. Maybe at some point you need to pause the video to go grab a tissue. You might even want to notice if this has become easier to do the longer you do it. Do 3 more, and that will be 5 minutes. Take a moment here to just breathe. Notice how your airways feel. Notice how your mind feels, your body. Maybe you want to comment below This is actually one of my favorite breathwork activities that I go to when I need to clear my mind because it forces you to focus. And I always know that I feel better after I do it in breathing in my airways. It feels easier, looser. If you feel the same thing, maybe, or maybe you don't, maybe it's completely different for you. Or uh, if it's still new to you, sometimes it'll just kind of feel like you didn't quite get it. And that's okay, part of the process. Babies don't start off walking. Everything in life is baby steps. So, with that, the reason I always like to start off with breath work is because when we then go into our movement, it makes us conscious of our breath. Because just working out without focusing on how you're breathing actually doesn't help your body change the way that you hope it would. If you actually focus on your breathing in each pose or position, when you do the inhale, when you do the exhale, that triggers to your body that you are actually stimulating those muscles. And you can focus on a part of your body and it will naturally breathe into those areas. It might allow them to relax naturally, or you might even realize where you're tensing. Like you might be working here and realize that you're really tense back here because everything in the body is connected. Something could be wrong up here and affect you all the way down here. It's kind of interesting to see just what was actually the root cause by working on your body over time, because what you thought might have actually been like a shoulder issue bothering you might have actually been something trapped somewhere else along your spine, that working on it helps you realize that the pain might have been triggering there because it was not able to read another section. So I like to start off with cat-cow. And with that, we recheck our alignment. Notice if our head is too far forward, too far back, our shoulders, if we've slumped, if we're not on the edge of our chair anymore, if we lost the hip width apart. And then you can leave your hands on your thighs. You're going to breathe in and push your belly forward. This arches your back forward, and that is cow pose. Exhale. You're now arching backwards. And exhaling in here, you feel your stomach empty. And this is cat pose. Going back and forth. And the reason I start with this is because it wakes up the spine, which then increases circulation. And if you can't see, I always go to the side to let you guys see better. We're inhaling, exhaling. You might notice where some place in your spine feels stiff. Like I've already been able to crack my neck. Not forcing, it just naturally cracked. It's not uncommon for pillows to throw our body alignment off if they're too big, too small, or maybe if you laid a certain way. Notice if you've thrown off your breathing from talking, I mixed up my exhales with my inhale. Just reset. Now, the slower you do this, the more it signals to your body that you're safe. this is a enjoyable activity versus a stressful one. And that's where that mind awareness comes in, because sometimes we don't realize the trigger that we're sending with our thoughts, where we're rushing through things to get it done and over with, instead of just being present in the moment. All right, and then we're going to come back into neutral pose. Notice if your spine feels a little different here. The next one we're going into is a seated torso circle. This is just another way to increase circulation, because now what we're doing is we're breathing as we come forward, exhaling as we come back. So kind of like cat-cow, but in a circle. And again, notice how fast or slow you go. Are you trying to rush through this, get it done and over with, or are you present in the moment? Does it feel good? Does it bother anything? Do you need to hold on to the side of the chair so you don't fall out? I was told there's no wrong way to do a pose as long as it's not harming you when in another yoga class, and I think that's such a good thing to associate with exercise, especially if we weren't in a chair. Maybe you use the wall to help you with certain poses or something. That's not wrong if your body's not in a place where it can hold a pose by itself and you honoring that. But you still get the benefits. So we're going to come back forward and switch. When I first started doing yoga, my body was super stiff. I had just had my second child. I had hurt myself stepping off of a curb, which it's funny. Everything happens in life for a reason, right? Because I started yoga because of that. And the very next day, they lowered that curb into a ramp for wheelchair accessibility. So, had I done that same walk a day later, my injury never would have happened. So, everything happens for a reason, even if it seems bad. Maybe it was always helping you become a better person, a better version of yourself. We can think of things as good or bad, or we can think of them as part of the process. Notice if this side feels different from the other side. If you've lost the ability to notice your breath. Finish up and come back to center. Take a few moments to breathe here. We've now activated our spine. We've also worked on our hips with that. Hopefully got rid of some stiffness. And moving on, we're going to do seated march. And this is where, again, the mind-body awareness comes in for this, because as we lift our left leg, we're going to lift our right. Maybe you bring it up like this. Maybe you bring it out like this. Or maybe you can just lift it like this, knowing what your body is capable of and honoring that. And go back and forth. Inhale as you lift, exhale as you lower. Notice if you're still in body alignment, I started to lean back, so I bring myself back forward. Notice if you try to go fast. The point is to go slow. Notice if you're losing track of your breath, if you lost posture again. I always want to start going back when I do this, so bring yourself forward if you do that. Or maybe you're leaning too far forward, bring yourself more upright. If you started on one side, we're going to do one more full circuit. Try to finish on the opposite side you started, that mind-body awareness. And then come back to center. So we've been engaging that coordination through our breath work, through our body movements, noticing where we get thrown off, because if you get thrown off, that means that your focus needs worked on. And that's an acknowledgement. It's not a hindrance. It's not something that's wrong with you. It's honoring where you're at. And everybody's going to be at a different spot for different reasons. So our next one is going to be a heel toe lift. So you'll have your feet on the ground. When you lift your toes, you'll inhale and lift your arms. Again, maybe it's only to here, maybe it's up here. And then exhale as you bring your heels up. Go back and forth this way a bit. This actually improves circulation. One, because you're focusing on your breath. Two, because you're actually lifting up, like when you lift your arms, you're allowing the blood flow to go in a different direction. Some of it is because you're slowing down and noticing and allowing your body to breathe into it, and increased air gives healthier, fresher air to your blood, which allows it to circulate better. Do two more. And then come back to center. Maybe you want to rock back and forth a little like I do. Go a little side to side. Notice if your body feels looser, tenser, more calm. I always feel more calm the more I slow down. And what that is a lot of times when we're in survival mode, that fight, flight, uh, fawn or flop, sympathetic nervous system, we're moving over to the parasympathetic nervous system. That is where your body actually heals, because you're in a relaxation and you're allowing your digestive system to actually work better. A lot of people go fast when they eat, but what that does is it can throw off your digestive system. And gut health is one of the most important parts of your body, because having a healthy gut health is actually what is probably one of the most beneficial things to you, because it allows your body to heal naturally in a way that's needed. So moving on from that, just a little knowledge that that's where digestion happens. properly. And that's where healing happens, is when we slow down and allow our body to relax. A lot of us want to keep moving. That's actually harmful to us if we don't take time for ourselves to just sit. That's why meditation is one of the most beneficial things you can do. It restores your neuroplasticity, those pathways that might have been destroyed through trauma or stressful situations or constantly being on the go. We're rebuilding those pathways. Excuse me, my voice is a little hoarse. So moving on, we're going to do a push-pull with our arms, where we're going to reach up, come back down. We're trying to build strength in our upper back. Again, this increases circulation, so up, like you're pushing a wall. You might close your fist or your hands into fist for the pull down. Gives us control over our body. There's not many things you have control over in life, but you have control over you. Acknowledging that you're one of the things that you can control is empowering, which is the point of our practice. Do 2 more. So we're going to do a core lift here, and that's just bringing our leg up. Maybe you want to hold it out, wherever it feels comfortable for you to hold it. Notice your posture, because I started to slouch there. So then I notice I come back to center. Stretching my knee out on this side today made my knee pop. So something is off in my alignment in my hips. Noticing that, where your body's at, things should not be popping and clicking. That is not normal, so maybe you want to alternate it to fit you. Because when it's popping and clicking, it means it's rubbing against probably bone on bone. There's other reasons you might be misaligned with that. Without the bone on bone rub, everybody's body is different, but just knowing where you are with that, bring that side down, lift this side, better aligned. No issues, could probably hold it up. You might notice that this side, if you're lifting up this way, it starts to shake. Shaking's normal. That actually means that you are building strength there. Bring that side down, and we're going to alternate. See? Knee, hop, out of alignment. Now, popping like that might actually just help loosen it if it was stiff, but if it continued to do so, you'd want to avoid that. Notice if you're holding your breath anywhere here. It's very easy when you're lifting, holding, feeling the shake to tighten the breath. However, breathing into it is actually what helps strengthen it, because you are giving oxygen to the body. Notice if you're slouching again. I noticed I started leaning back. We want to be leaning forward. Notice if that causes any tension in your hip or something. Maybe you want to massage a plate that's tight. Maybe you might notice it's tight here. Maybe when you stretch out like this, you might actually notice it's tight in the calf. Pay attention to that. Your body's telling you where it is stuck. Realize that this was actually our shoulder presses. Switched my movements because going off of memory here, but we're going to do the push-pull now. So we already did shoulder presses before. Our push-pull, and making mistakes is part of the process too. We all make mistakes. How do we recover from those? Do we stop? Do we get scared? Or do we keep going? Because our push-pull is actually pushing out this way, and then exhale, coming back this way. Mistakes are part of the process. If we didn't make mistakes, we're not learning because nobody is perfect. I worked in a school setting once in an office, and I remember that the owner of it was a private preschool, the owner was getting upset because we were making mistakes and we had actually just opened. It was brand new. And the thing is that we're in a school setting. Mistakes are part of the process. How are we going to learn and get better if we don't honor our mistakes? Do they slow us down? Yes. Do we worry that maybe if we make mistakes, it might ruin everything? Yes, of course we do. We don't want to stay stuck in that mindset. That is survival fog. And then we're going to come back to neutral pose. We're going to do our figure 4. So if you're not familiar with this, if you can't do this, maybe you just cross your ankle, or like bring your left over your right ankle. But if you're able to, you're going to lift. You're going to bring that up, and you're going to then be in a figure 4. Now, you're supposed to put your ankle over your hip. If you have a bony ankle like me, I bring mine out a little bit and back so that I don't hurt my body, and that's me honoring how my body is shaped. And then we are going to rock forward. Actually do that on the exhale if that helps, and then I inhale on this when I go back because we're kind of in that cat position where we're crunching forward. And then when we inhale going back, it allows us to expand. Notice where any place feels tight. Notice if you can't do the rocking back and forth. I don't always do the rocking back and forth with this pose. So notice, can you lean forward? How far forward can you lean? Can you come back up from that? What's your core strength like there? Is your hip complaining? Is the side tighter? We'll find out when we switch. Can you hold it longer? Can you breathe into the feeling if it's tight anywhere along here? Maybe just bringing it up. Breathe into that. Don't hold on to your breath. And then we will slowly, we are not cranking ourselves out of this. We will slowly lift and bring our foot back down. Notice our alignment. Bring the other side up. Maybe again, you're just crossing here, rocking back and forth, honoring where your body's at. And bringing that one up. Noticing what feels comfortable for you. Rocking on the exhale forward. So is the side tighter? It's the side easier. Is it looser? How does your body feel on the opposite side? Are you holding your breath here more? Can you hold forward better? Is your core strength better on this side than it was in the other? Because that says a lot about your back muscles too, as well as your front. What is easier for you? What side is tighter for you? Maybe comment down below. I can give some advice. Okay, finish up on that side. Gently bring yourself back down into neutral pose and alignment. You are doing a good job. Congratulate your body. You think you need congratulations from outside, especially with how social media and everything works, getting likes and things like that, constantly putting where you are at. Self-praise is actually the most important because your body honors that more than hearing it from somebody else. You acknowledging that you're proud of yourself is one of those growth processes that help you grow the most. Because when you're proud of yourself, other people will naturally be proud of you. You don't have to seek it. People will just notice a difference in you. So we're only going to do one of these where we're going to plant our feet on the ground. We're going to maybe grab the edge of the chair if we need this, but we're going to slowly lean forward, lift. I'm going to use the chair to help me lift slowly up straight, and you won't be able to see me fully on camera because of the space I have. That's okay. And then we're going to control how we sit. We're not falling back into this if we can help it. We are using our core muscles, our legs to come back into sitting position. Maybe feel for the chair by putting your hands behind you, guiding yourself back into it. And this is control over your body. We're not just flinging ourselves into a seat. So that's building strength and support in every day. We are going to do a quick side to side flow reach. Reach. Have a full breath. Come back. Reach. Notice your body alignment. Have a full breath. Come back. Reach. Have a full breath. Come back. One more. On the other side. And then we're going to twist on the inhale one way. Exhale as you're here. Breathe in, come back. Inhale to twist. Other way. We're not cranking. This is just a slow body movement. And then we're going to do a forward fold. You're going to, if you need to, bring your hands here, lean forward, come back up, lean forward, come back up. This helps the body to start to slow down and release tension. And when you're back up for that last one, we're going to do back expansions. And this is our last pose. You're going to open as wide as you can, honor where you're at. Notice your body alignment with that. Did you lean back like I did? Did you come forward? And then hug yourself. Notice what side is on top now because we're going to switch. Other way. That helps with our upper back. So when we come out of that, I just jerked out of it, but come out slowly. Come back into neutral position, and we're going to be ready for our meditation. Your body should be more relaxed, calmer, looser, maybe a little sore. Maybe you notice someplace is screaming at you, acknowledge that. So we're going to do Anjali Mudra for this, which looks like prayer pose, salutation seal. This usually comes to our heart center, and this helps with, it like fosters balance, focus, gratitude. It's funny when you think You can look down. I'm keeping track of my time, but I'm also thinking down to the left because when you're thinking, your eyes tend to move to the left when it's trying to recall something. There was another that if you didn't feel comfortable holding here during our meditation, when we meditate, if you want to ground, you put your palms down on your knees and breathe into this while you meditate, and that is a grounding technique. However, if you want to receive, maybe a lot of people think of superficial things when they want to receive. Maybe you want to receive more love from yourself, because once you love yourself, other people naturally feel that love and have it towards you. Maybe you want to receive more peace, just that calm feeling of relaxation. Focus on something substantial instead of thinking, I want more money or things like that. Instead of thinking, I want more money, think, I want more prosperity, because prosperity isn't just money. Wealth comes in several different forms. So, opening yourself up to receiving something that's healthy for you, as opposed to something that we're told makes us successful. So again, we have the purpose, the grounding, or the receiving. Pick which one feels right for you. And just came to my mind, maybe you want to ground and receive. You put one hand down and the other up and breathe into that. So for the next few minutes, usually I do 5 minutes with meditation because that's what our whole practice has been building towards, is being able to sit within ourselves and feel comfortable. Because a lot of the times when we're in meditation, we feel uncomfortable sitting, just sitting and doing nothing because we're constantly told to move, but it's almost like a form of sleep, actually. You're signaling to your body it's safe to just be, to be one with now, to be in your past, present, and future all at the same time. Because we wouldn't be who we were if we didn't have our past, and we wouldn't be able to have grown into a good, solid person without knowing what wasn't good for us. So again, with that, I stepped off a curb and I could have said, why wasn't that curb lower yesterday? I hate, my life is so unlucky. No, that's knowing, that led me onto a path to a better version of myself. Even if it was something horrible. Horrible things might not be as horrible when you look back at them. They might have been exactly what we needed at the time to grow into who we are, for our future self to become even better. So time is an illusion. You are exactly who you are meant to be at every point in time. And you are every version of yourself at once and none of them. So with that, we'll come into the pose that fits us best. And we're just going to sit here for the next 5 minutes honoring that. If it feels comfortable to close your eyes, you can. That's optional. Maybe you just want to half leave them open, half close them, giving yourself awareness, because sometimes our body doesn't feel safe. So closing our eyes completely when we're not ready for that, again, undoes all the work that we were working towards. Or maybe you want to keep your eyes open and pick a focus point. For these 5 minutes, we are noticing if we lose track of our breath. We are noticing if our thoughts start to wander. And if thoughts come up, don't latch onto them. It's very easy to get stuck in a trail where you're latching onto a thought. Honor why that thought came up and let it go. You are the mountain. Your thoughts are clouds. Mountains don't grab onto clouds. They watch them pass. That is my favorite analogy for meditation. Clouds serve a purpose. Thoughts serve a purpose. Maybe you want to focus on a sound. If you're somewhere where you can hear birds, maybe you'll focus on birds. If you're inside and can hear a neighbor moving around because you're in an apartment or something like that, notice that sound, and you don't have to attach yourself to it. It's just noticing. You are an observer. Maybe you're noticing your breath. Does it feel easier than when we started? Or because of the exercise we did, is it actually working a little harder? Maybe you're noticing a part of your body that is stiff and you're allowing yourself to relax it. Maybe you're even doing a body scan, noticing your feet, letting them relax, noticing your ankles, letting them relax, noticing your lower legs, the calf muscle, letting them relax. Maybe you get to your knees, let them relax. Moving up to your thighs, your upper legs. Notice if there's any tension held there and let them relax. You get to your hips, relax into that. Your stomach, your lower back, relax. The middle of your back, your support, your core, relax. Getting up to the chest, your upper back. We hold a lot of tension here. Relax. Your shoulders, relax them. Maybe you get to your neck. Again, your shoulders, your neck, your jaw, these are all places that we hold our tension, our stress. We allow our neck to relax. Allow it to open up to breathe and say our truth throughout the day, or throughout the week, throughout the month. Knowing when not to speak. We get to our jaw. Notice how much stress or tension you hold there and relax. Remember, we talked about the tongue and the tongue position. Notice where it is and relax into it. Is it at the roof of your mouth? Can it hold at the roof of your mouth? Is that something you want to work on in the future? Share below if you're interested in learning tongue exercises. Relax. You get to the back of your scalp. Is there tension there? Relax. That tension sometimes causes insomnia. Come up towards your nose, your eyes. Notice your breathing. Relax into that. The back of your scalp in the middle. Relax your eyes, your scalp. And then you get to the crown, the top of your head. Relax. There are places I didn't mention, like the hands. Are your hands tense? Are your arms tense? Relax into those. Your ears. Can you feel a difference if you tell them to relax? You might hear a clicking sound as you relax into that. That might actually be signs of a TMJ, which means you've been holding tension in your jaw. And then with that, we're going to wiggle our toes, move our legs from side to side, maybe move our upper body, relax our hands. Take a few breaths, open your eyes, and come back into self and notice a difference. Does it feel easier to hold the pose? Does it feel easier to breathe? Do you feel more calm? Honestly, please comment down below. I'm curious, where are you at with this? If you feel comfortable. We only ever do what we feel comfortable doing. But sometimes having the courage to share a part of ourselves we normally wouldn't have before, that we realize we feel more safe in our body then. Sometimes we hold things in because of fear, when really certain things are meant to be let out. Maybe you want to rock back and forth. We actually made it to almost a full hour with this practice, mostly because I have a lot to say after working to the 5th week, because my plan for this all started with a 6-week plan. So the next week is actually me finishing this section of the nervous system and starting on a whole new path after that. Congratulate yourself. I mean, honestly, it's amazing if you have made it this far. It is hard to have that discipline, or maybe it took you time to get here a little longer than you thought, and you still accomplished that. That is something to praise and be proud of. And if you made it this far, thank you. I appreciate. Feel free to like the video if you feel like this resonated with you. The inner light in me honors the inner light in you. Namaste. And I hope to see you next week.